Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So I haven't uploaded in a few days, mainly just because I've been feeling a bit crook, and also I've just been sort of enjoying the league. So anyway, you would have seen at the very start of the video, I am building my, well, it'd be second character. I have one character which I'm working on, which is Ice Crash, and so far it does, good amounts of damage, up to about 700k DPS. I need a little more currency to get it really kicking, and I don't know if everyone else has noticed, but map drop rates are pretty shit, which there'll be another video I think I'll be doing later this afternoon on that. But anyway, I thought I'd talk about where I'm at with my General's Cry Zerker. So fundamentally, this is the same as the build that I put forward earlier or later in the 3.15 league, which, pull up the tree, is this tree here, and I'll provide the in-game tree in the description below as well. I'll also provide the version that it's up to right now. So this, after rejigging, gets up to about 4.8, 4.9 million DPS. It's really tanky, really strong. I actually found this build in leveling to be even tankier than what it was the last time that I did this build. I've already got it up to about 566k DPS on a 5-link, with not all of the jewels that it should have. In fact, I am missing a few jewels, so let's just import that. So we'll do that. So it's actually up to about 753,000 DPS because we've now got Warning Call built into the build. So how did I get here? Now, leveling this build up can be a little frustrating. Once you get access to General's Cry and also Shield Charge and everything, pretty much you're going to be running around dropping Desecrate. Here's going a little weird. And then you're basically going to map your General's Cry to your move button, and then they'll cast from there. It's a little bit irritating. Leveling up is a little slow, but once you get to the point where you can afford Corpse Walkers, which I actually did with my League Starter character, got up to like T9 maps and got about 30-40 Chaos for Corpse Walkers. That's not Corpse Walkers, that's a Helm. So these are right now, about 30 Chaos, which isn't too expensive. If you had one Exalt drop, liquidate it, buy yourself Corpse Walkers. Once you get Corpse Walkers, this build is just a breeze. Outside of that, the Dark Seer, dirt cheap this league, 2 Chaos, really cheap. And a good armor shield is not worth a great deal. So this is 1834 armor shield. I obviously need a better shield than this, but because not everyone's playing SST like they were last league or Shield Crush, really good shields have come down in price. They're really cheap. And the way that shield charge now works is based on every 15 armor, you get 5 to 7 added physical damage. So the more armor that you stack on your shield, the more powerful your shield charge ability becomes, which is why this damage is scaling out really well. So outside of that, you've got your Corpse Walkers. I'm not fully spec'd out. Basic other gearing. Helm is crap. I'll just put it in D&D mode. Helm is absolute chop suey shit. Ideally, we want a Crown of the Inward Eye, which drops Osiris. They're about 10 chaos right now. I'm just bled dry in currency because I'm really struggling to generate currency. Dark Seer, good shield. Just fizz damage and all resist amulet. Eventually, we're going to get +1 to all physical gems and reservation reduction. Rings just catering for life, all resist where you can. Same with this here. I actually have a 1 to minimum endurance charge roll, which is really good. Chest piece, same, life and all resist where you can. Same with gauntlets, life and all resist. And belt, I actually got a decent drop from doing Drox. So 25% increased melee damage during flask effect and increased flask charges generated, which isn't bad, and some life. And I didn't need any more resistances. So my defenses right now are maxed out at 76 and 75, 75, and my chaos resist is actually coming off of my medium clusters in my tree. Flasking wise, just really, Quicksilver, Lion's Roar, which is like 5 chaos. Yep, about 5 chaos. Good sulfur flask. I'll probably change that to a quartz flask. I always use Blood of the Karui because I just really like Blood of the Karui, and just any old other flask with corrupted blood immunity on it. And that's pretty much it for gearing. So Gem Links, Molten Shell we're using as defensive, a cast when damage taken with Blood Rage, though Blood Rage isn't really very good on this build. I do have Ancestral War Chief with Culling Strike, Life Tap, and Maim. So Maim amps up your damage further. Pride, Berserk, and Arctic Armor. So Berserk we can pretty much drop constantly because of having Warbringer. So Berserk is pretty much a staple in this build because we generate rage. Shield Charge, faster attacks, Life Tap, and Fortify for your movement skills. So movement is really good with this build. It's just basically a walking simulator, as you would have seen. And on bosses, you just run around in a circle. And then my main setup right now, my 5-link is Shield Charge, Impale, Melee Fizz, General's Cry, and Pulverize. And then I'll add Brutality into that. Now, the other thing too is you're going to want to quality your General's Cry first because you want to get the cooldown down. There's two ways to do this. You'll need to quality it to 20%. You'll also need to get the Helm enchant for General's Cry has 30% cooldown reduction or whatnot on Warcry skills. So that'll mean you Warcry more. That will create a mana sustainability issue, but we'll just build around that slightly with our tree to get around that. So that's not a problem at all. And then Gem in my boots, Blood and Sand, in my shield, Pride, Berserk, and I think Arctic Armor as well, because that all gives you physical damage reduction. Now, right now, even with the Zerker, I've got like 75% fizz damage reduction. It's really tanky. 100% freeze avoidance, 30% less crit taken because of my shield. This is not the crafts you optimally need on a shield, but they're not bad to have. And then, yeah, life regeneration isn't bad either. It's for where it is, it's not too bad. So that's pretty much the basic setups, but the piece de resistance is how the tree's set up. So fundamentally, I've made some changes and iterations of this tree as well, but I started off going down and picked up my general's, my call to arms first, and basically all you need to do is build down when you first start leveling, and then pick up these two nodes here, link this up, and get your General's Cry. And then basically I picked up this Natural Authority node, I picked up Bloodless, and I started building out. I picked up Admonisher, got Defiance, Bravery, picked up my Command of the Steel, came up, and then started working my way around, getting Deep Breaths, Tireless, Resolute Techniques, really important to get early on, Barbarism, and then Juggernaut, and then obviously linking the tree back up. Then you pull these two nodes out, and then you basically start on your cluster jewels. We also pick up Devotion here. Now for early clusters, and these weren't too expensive, so I think I paid like 29 Chaos for this one here, with Force Multiplier and Ironbreaker. And then basically I've got my first two, and one of these is a 6, unfortunately a 6 passive, but first two main medium cluster jewels already. So one's got Haunting Shout and Rattling Bellow. Basically Haunting Shout intimidates enemies, so, and then Rattling Bellow gives you 8% chance to do double damage. A lot of this is going to be trying to build double damage, including Force Multiplier just gives you 5% as well. And then my next one has Rattling Bellow and Warcry gives you and your allies Onslaught, which is Lead by Example. So then we come down and we've started building in our second cluster jewel now that we're at about, what level are we? Level 83. So we'll get another one of these large clusters here with Force Multiplier and Ironbreaker. I just need more currency. And then we've also picked up Warning Call, but this is not where it's going to end up. And then the other thing that we need to get for this as well, so we got Warning Call. We also need Cry Wolf, which gives you increased amount of power for your war cries. So the more power you have, the more General's Cry minions are going to spawn from the one war cry, which means you can do a lot more damage a lot quicker. In this case, yeah, we're one off getting what we need to get for, we're one large cluster off and one medium cluster off, and then we'll respec this down just a little bit and push up the damage that way. And then pretty much we're just going to focus on gearing and leveling up and better gems and qualitying gems, and then we're pretty much done. This build's really easy to put together, especially because I played it last league. Now, Masteries, I have taken advantage of as many Masteries as I could. So in these Warcry nodes, so I've picked up 20% increased damage every time you've done a Warcry. 50 to maximum life. Down here, Warcry Mastery, recover 15% of life when you use a Warcry is really good. Over here, 2% increased attack damage per 75 armor. So this is increasing your attack damage with every 75%, 75 armor you have on your shield. So the more armor on your shield, the more damage you do again. Then we come up here, we've picked up Warcries have a minimum of 10 power. This is really important to amp up the ability of Warcries when you start Warcrying, based off of when your corpses start walking with Corpse Walkers. Up here, I picked up Regenerate 2% of life while moving. So this build is always moving. So if you have this, you've got a much higher level of sustainability when mapping or bossing. Then coming down here, Life Mastery, obviously 10% increased maximum life. And we've also picked up 100% increased armor from Equipped Shield, because we're going to be chucking on like a 2.8k armor shield. We might as well get 100% more armor on that shield as well and get a lot more armor. So I think right now, without Molten Shell, we've got like 10,000 armor. With Molten Shells, like 15,000 armor, something like that. And then, yeah, pretty much that's it for the tree, where it is right now. So I'll put this in the description below. But yeah, it's... Oh, and Ascendancies. So Ascendancies, you're just going to get Warbringer first. You're going to get Aspect of Carnage. Then you'll get Crave's Slaughter. This is going to give you more Rage. And then you're going to get Rite of Ruin. This is going to triple the effects of Rage. So you're going to be a lot faster. And at the very start, you would have seen how fast this sort of clears maps. Like it's now in red T11 maps, and it's slowed down because I'm still doing red maps with a 5 link. So, you know, nothing special in this build. It just scales really well, and after the changes, it scales even better. So why am I playing this over Ice Crash? Ice Crash is really powerful. The problem is it was too slow. And I wanted to clear maps a lot quicker and generate currency quicker. I just wanted something that could do that in the early game, especially when currency drops aren't so consistent in this league for some reason. I'm assuming Phantom nerfs. So this is a lot more efficient as far as just clearing sheer maps and map completion, which you can see I'm already at T5, technically it'll be at like T6. Awaken to level 6, and I've done 62 of the 118 maps in the tree already. And you know, I'm starting to fill up my map after like 3.5 days. So it's really quick to map in this league, which is great. This handles pretty much all content that I've thrown at it so far, including all the Conquerors, and it's actually a lot of fun. But anyway, this is just a quick update on my shield charge, General's Cry Zerker. And yeah, if this helps you out, if you're playing this build, drop me a like, drop me a sub, ask me some questions. And I'll happily provide answers. I'm going to get this build working up to like A9 Cyrus. This is going to be my main build for the league. That'll generate all my currency. If you want to know how I've been generating currency, I think I said at the start, but I've just been heisting mainly. I haven't started Delve because I'm still trying to figure out what my third build's going to be, and I want to go back to Ice Crash in the next week. So, and really level it out. I want that to be a one-hit build, just absolutely demolishing everything. But anyway, until next time, have a good one, and bye.